Hello, my name is Ponce, and today we're going to be building the building right in front of you. I wanted to base this building off of the governor's mansion in Puerto Rico, and I kind of the building's basically called La Fortencia, which basically means like the fortress in Spanish. So I was like, what type of building would be set up like a fortress? And then I came to the idea of building a police station. I've actually been meaning to do this for quite a while because not too long ago I actually basically I rebuilt my city hall, and at the time I basically had everything like completely jammed into this like one singular building. But with Bedrock updating the world system, I kind of was like, no, I'm gonna need a new like thing. And so here we are building the police station. Across the street I'm gonna put the fire department, and I'm gonna be building all sorts of apartment buildings and houses and stores on around the area because it is gonna be a main street. So yep, right now I'm just messing around with the design. I never really go in with a plan. Basically, it's like more of like a experiment process. And I tried different things. Like I knew I wanted to build a blue building, and yeah. So right now what I'm doing is I'm basically just trying to like get rid of the snow because I want to make sure I have enough room to work with for like duping stuff and all this other stuff. And yeah. Now the Fortencia doesn't really have like that like floor divider. I just like that's the way I build. I always love having that in the thing. It kind of like gives a little bit of texture to the build and all the other good stuffs. And filling up the glias. What I'm really proud about this building is I actually like used a lot of blocks I normally wouldn't build with on a normal basis. So I'm really proud of that. Like lately I've been basically mixing in trapdoors with my build style, and I decided that the iron trapdoors will work perfectly with the build because of their like white complexion. And so I'm a little energized. I drink a whole thing of Monster, and I get wired. So yep, right now I'm just doing the little details and stuff like that. And here's what I was talking about, like using blocks I never would have. I never really use like anything that has to do with the Nether. And I was like really surprised at how well those trapdoors worked with the palette that I was going for. Right now I'm just making sure that I have enough room so I can copy the floor up, because I like to cheat. Everybody loves to cheat. Nobody likes to do the entire building by hand, and we can all agree that structure blocks, commands, and everything just made building a whole lot easier. So right now I'm just filling in the design, making sure that everything's all set before I dupe the floor. And da 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 da. And filling in the glaze for those nice windows. Indeed. And now I'm just gonna dupe it up. And there, we got a whole corner of the police station done. I'm really proud with how this process took, when the whole building took me like 4.5 hours to do. And it's like, ooh, like that's it kind of like saddened me when I could just like squeeze everything in below 30 minutes. But I was like, I don't want to have like a long ass like tutorial build, or like fat speed build, or whatever this is called. And I don't know, I kind of like basically I was trying to like mess with the way that the road was gonna do. I knew I wanted to have like a little parking lot in the front, because that's where they would have parking lots usually, around where like people would be able to complain or stuff like that. And right now I'm just building the main entrance. I tried to kind of copy the same design as I did with the windows, and I think I did pretty good. And right now I'm kind of like building the windows for the waiting area. And I also wanted to add some like basically I wanted to add some like holding cells on the first floor. But eventually I decided to just have like a mix, like a garage in the front too, to kind of like better like shipments and stuff like that if they need like to get like evidence in really like quick. And there's the holding cell windows. I was really proud of the way I did those. And just to remind you that I like basically what I'm doing now is I'm kind of just like trying to make sure that like everything looks nice and stuff like that. And D. Making those beautiful windows. I knew I wanted to add like a staircase that was kind of like looked as if it was added on to the back of the building, or like as if it was like newly done. So you're gonna see that in a few. And I was really proud of the way that that came out too. And right now I'm just trying to make sure that I have the snow cleared before I continue. And here I go adding those stairs like I was talking about. Cause I always loved seeing those old buildings, but it's like you can see where like the where they renovate and stuff like that. And I kind of wanted this to be like an old like governor's mansion, kind of like the building that I'm basing this off of. So I wanted to make sure that I had like that old Spanish flair while also having like things that would be like normal things to see in like a recently renovated building. I hate working with trapdoors and slabs. It's kind of like annoying, but it's like I had to get it done. Especially when it comes to like the copying, because it's like if you like copy something on the other side, it like the trapdoors always mess up. It's like no way of getting around that. And here I go, just copying the floor, making sure I got all the dimensions up, and I didn't want to copy the stairs and the door, so I just decided to make the window so I can just bring the second floor up instead of just waiting to do the whole thing. And here I go. And there's that section of the police department. Here I go, just filling in the windows and stuff like that. This is one of those buildings that I could tell already that I should have built the inside before I worked on like doing the windows, but I was like wanted to get like an idea as to how the building would look when it's done, so I just decided to do the windows as I went. But I like the way it came out, so yeah. Making sure that I got the thing, because I wanted to set up a garage, like a garage, where they would like basically be able to work on the police cars and whatever they had to do. Like I wanted to make sure that they had the ability to do so. And see. But I also wanted to add I wanted to create like the sense that I was recently renovated and stuff like that, so I kind of like decided to go with an older version of like trap doors. I mean garage doors, I'm sorry. But right now I'm just doing the design. I was really proud of the way that I did this. I'm still pretty proud. Did this literally like a few days ago. And yeah, this is gonna be a 2-part video. I'm just cause it took like almost 4 hours, like 4.5 hours just to do the like just to do the building of the outside, and also to basically like compose this, because yeah, like it took a while. It took a good while just to like do this. Like to build the building and then like basically like make sure that everything was like set, so that way people won't have to be watching a live stream of me building a police station. Z. I wanted to give those windows a little bit of a different like vibe, but I decided to just continue the same design because I was like, it's gonna like look weird. Makes me laugh at how like fast it's going. There. That's that corner of the building done. And right now I'm basically adding the garage doors. I kind of wanted to basically like make sure that I have the older style. And I have no idea what's happening. I think I went AFK. I might have to edit this out, so I'm going to stop right here and I'll be right back with you. I think what might have happened is I think I was actually like changing my music, so that's probably what was going on. But anyway, here's what I was saying about like adding like the old like garage doors. Like I wanted to kind of like make a callback to those like iron block, you know, like the old school before like before they had the quartz pillar, before they had all these new blocks. And there I go, there it goes. Ha ha ha. Right now I'm kind of debating, because I wanted to have like a side entrance to the thing, so I was kind of like debating on like exactly how far back do I want this wall to go. And there's the limit. Oh, I never noticed that when you record, the thing like flashes red. That's pretty cool, Sony. You got a good system goings. And there we go, clearing out the snows. Checking out my handiwork. Oh, right, no. So yeah. There I go, just situating the main entrance. Like I said, it was kind of like a difficult with those trapdoors. I think half of this video would have just been me like putting trapdoors in, and then that's it, and then just going back and like closing it. So basically half of this video would have been like trapdoor work. I don't know, there's just something like so therapeutic about like hearing like the placement of blocks and like super high speed. It's like There I go with my smart plan on how to fill in windows. I was very proud of the way I did that. The like side entrance. And right now I'm just adding the a bit of a groundage thing. Wanted to add like a nice design to the floor. And I kind of like basically what I was trying to do with this was I actually wanted to basically dedicate it to both like the like Afro-American movement to also the movement of like Los Machetes from Puerto Rico. And I kind of wanted to like basically have like this like idea basically with this island in this city that I'm creating. I kind of want to play with this idea of like what if like what if like Puerto Rico like actually got like its thing. Like I'm not sure how the like politics of it would work, but I do know that like I wanted to like basically create like this like society where it would be like, oh, like ye indeed. So here I go, just filling in, and I'm kind of like going. I'm trying to like not like get that middle bit because I did want to add like a bit more of that like green mixed with black and red, and ye. I wanted to basically do that and create a bit of like a design. And here I go eating the other side of the thing. Indeed. There I go with the middle design. I'm trying to like kind of teach myself gradients and stuff like that. Well, mostly like the shape of them. But yeah, eventually I do want to mess around with gradients and add and like mix blocks in. And yeah. And when I was building this, I had in mind that I wanted to like create basically a parking garage attached to the police station. But then I was like, that wouldn't necessarily look right. So I think I'm just gonna have this either this area or the little building that I'm gonna build later on in the video basically be the coroner's office. Indeed. So the parking garage didn't happen, but I did actually add a very sizable parking lot in the back. And there he goes, filling in the brick blocks. Because I wanted to basically surround this building with like a bunch of other buildings, and I always loved the way that like when you have like one building and another building together. I don't know, like I like a lot of things that might seem small to like other people. Like as a person who wants to get into the whole design of buildings thing, I always like find it interesting all these like little things. Like like I love the way that they like divide certain buildings when it's like they're gonna add like other buildings. And here I go adding the thing for the parking lot. And D. I was messing around with my music again. And here I go. It was a bit of a weird thing, a weird playlist. But anyway. There he goes. Yeah, I kind of messed with that thing. At least it wasn't like the whole thing, like, just consumed the entire building. There we go, cheating with the fill commands. Didn't do it right the first time. Indeed. I think at this point I was kind of debating whether or not I actually wanted to continue with the idea of this being like its own um like basically its own like I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Its own like police department. I thought I actually wanted to create this as a apartment building, cause it kept reminding me so much of like the first ever like apartment building that I was like relatively proud about, and I'm still proud to this day. And yeah. Maybe before I post this, I'm gonna like take a picture of that and then just send it in. Nah. I think I'm gonna save that for a later thing. There we go, extending the thing. And here we go. That's another block that I don't like. I hate working with those like the wall fencing that they have. Purely because it's like putting like a it's kind of like putting a of like vertical stair. I'd say slab because of the like width, but it's not really a slabs. And here I go, just basically getting this little building over here sectioned up, which I think I'm gonna stick the coroner's office over here. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I wanted basically right here. I'm basically trying to figure out. I was trying to figure out how I wanted to like set it up because I think I wanted to add like this like a like one of those gates that they would have in some places to kind of like hint back at this being like a place where the like a form of government would be like living. And here I go back with the cheating. And there he goes with the things. And I don't know what compelled me to use that section right there, but like it worked out a lot better than I thought it would. Like using that section of wall, it kind of like yeah, it definitely did work out better than I thought it would. Z. I mean, I had to add that little bit, but it did work out a lot better than I thought it would. And here I go, just trying to texture this little bit right there. I just realized that a lot of these like build like a lot of these like building type like videos is basically up the person going up and be like, okay, I'm going to mansplain the entire thing, the entire process to you. Okay, you see that? I'm putting in a door. This is the frame that goes around the door. You see this? This is the thing that you put the door inside. And now the door looks nice. Do you see the door? You're not looking at the door. And yee. But like yeah. This one's insane. I kind of made it a point that I didn't want to like dupe this section of the building because I was like, I don't want to like have the same like thing on both sides of it. But then it's like I ended up doing it anyway, and it's like, like that's very interesting. Indeed. There I go, cheating again. around this time I was kind of like trying to figure out basically how I was gonna do it, because if you like you see like that like massive like that tall the tall skyscraper in the over there. It's like that building's like probably like 18 floors. I'm building a 3-story police department. I was like trying to figure out, okay, exactly how am I gonna do this? Like, how am I gonna like make that transition? But then I was like, a lot of cities just have these like overwhelming like changes. But yeah. So here I go finishing it up, and here's the end product. Well, yeah, this is where we started with, just an empty corner. This is it, like gradually being built up. There's a bit more of it. There's the dinger. There's the thing. Starting on the garage. Finish that. And I did a lot of the like landscape after the fact, so I'm not sure if I actually added the finished. Oh wait, yes I did. Yes I did. But anyway, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll get the interior in soon, and see ya.